to go?
Live.
I think so.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Carly.
How
How are
are
you?
you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I've
That's
been
good.
up since I think it was 4:15.
Wow. You were
Uh,
that keen to come and see me on live
well,
where?
it's been a while since I've been on, so yeah,
So
I got a
excited
bit
to see Mike. I'm going to get up at 4.
excited. No, bloody
Yes.
the
Is it?
neighbor next door has like a really loud car, and
No, he's one of those blokes.
it's just um yeah, at like I think at 4:15 this morning I was up. I think it was later than that, but then I couldn't get back to sleep. I heard it
Oh, really?
going off up the street, and oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing
Anyway,
worse. We got some around our neighbourhood that do the same thing. I don't know why they have to have cars that loud. Why? No, why?
yeah, when you know that you get up that early of a morning,
Yeah,
is
it's
there really
ridiculous.
any need?
They don't care. They don't have little kids. They don't give a shit. How is
Yeah.
everyone? Good morning, everyone. How are you? Cara, Shauno. Look at you guys putting your names there. I love that. I
So
appreciate it.
is Restream still not working?
I don't think so. I
No.
don't think so. Yeah,
Tez.
I think there might be due to the fact that maybe all the changes coming up on Facebook, maybe it's not clicking over. So
Okay.
anyway, it doesn't matter. Hope everyone's doing well. How's everyone's week been? I hope last week was a cracker. It was pretty good for me. How was yours, Carl?
Yeah, I've been in a bit of a
Hectic.
funk recently, but
Yeah.
I'm slowly working my way out. Anyone that's got children, I'm sure can relate.
I was going to say
Um,
that kid related.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. But yeah, we just push through and just have to accept that I can only do so much. So
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
I'm working on.
Yeah. Good. And you've got the retreat coming up next weekend, which is really good.
Yes,
It's going to be a bit of
I'm
fun.
so damn excited for this.
Yeah. Is
Um,
how's Shane going to go with the kids? All right.
Oh, he's fine. He's
Yeah. Cool.
perfectly fine. Yeah.
That's
I
good.
cannot wait. And for you ladies that are coming in and joining us for it, it's something that you're going to want to be a part of. And if you haven't,
Little
you're going to see
couple
all the
podcasts.
pictures and be like, why? Why did I hold out?
Yeah.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting close to Easter as well, and I think it's tough for a few people to get away, but you will definitely enjoy it if you get along. That's for sure.
Yep.
I'm hopefully going to pop down on the Sunday. That's the plan for me. So it'll be
Cool.
good to get down there for at least a day and
Yep.
join everyone.
Awesome.
All right, guys, you know the drill. If you got any health and wellness questions live, chuck them in the chat box and we'll answer them for you directly. We'll get started. Actually, it's cool. There's a couple of questions in here that I added in this morning because I thought it'd be pretty cool just to ad lib off those. Talking about the first one, especially is with all the stuff you know about fitness now. What would you tell your younger self who started day one at the gym about nutrition and overall health and training? I guess things like that. So I guess for me, if I have to go back in time and tell my younger self, the first thing I would tell them is intention. It would be you can't go to the gym or get a diet or try and correct your overall health if you don't have intention. You've got to have a reason, a why you're doing it. You've got to be able to say to yourself, hey, I feel like shit. I'm depressed. I'm overweight. I need to get back to being the best I can be. And in order for me to do that, I have to do these things, and that's intention. I think that's my most important thing that I would tell my younger self.
Yep.
I've got a few, but let's back off each other. So what about yourself, Carl?
Okay. For me, something I used to do a lot before I knew anything about fitness was I just thought that I could basically outrun my diet. I could
Mm,
eat all the garbage, drink all the beers, and wake up the next day and go to the gym and offset those calories just through exercise. Yeah,
you
bad
could if
error.
you only had half a beer.
Yeah, if you had half a beer, yeah, true, true.
Not
But yeah, no,
everything else.
definitely think, yeah, but I don't stop at half a beer. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, definitely thinking that I can outrun my diet would
Mm.
be, yeah, something I wish I had have known a lot earlier.
Yeah, and it's a common misconception with especially women, is like you've got to go to the gym to get on a treadmill, right? You got to go and run your heart off and burn all those calories that you've done. But if you've had 5 or 6 beers, which is common on a weekend, and if you've had all the trimmings to go with it, sausages and everything else, you're probably up to 3,500, 4,000 calories on a weekend, on a
Yep.
Saturday even. Not even just a weekend, it could be one
Yep.
day. And there's
Yep.
no way 1 hour on the treadmill is going to do any damage to that whatsoever.
Yep.
So
Yep.
great point. Absolutely great point. Consistency for me would be the next one. It'd be going with intention, but also consistency. If you're going to go 4 days a week, you've got to go 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see any form of improvement in your body structure if you're not consistent in the gym. You can't just say, I'm going to go 1 day, 1 week, and then 4 days the next, and then 2 days. And it's not going to help. It's not going to help overall time. You need to put your body under constant strain and stress of progressive overload. And in order to do that, you've got to go consistently. And then we'll talk about your diet as well. Like, I guess we're talking about overall health. Your calories over the week count, and that's being consistent. So you can back them off one day and overload them the next to be consistent in that sort of area. But you've got to make sure that just about every day is there or thereabouts on your calorie count. So consistency for me would be the next best thing that I would tell my younger self is
Yep.
you've got to do the right things, the hard things, but you've got to be doing them every single day to get those results.
Yep. I would agree. My next one would have to be lift weights. I used to just run on the treadmill, do high intensity classes, and think I was going to build muscle. And all I wanted was to feel like I had some toned legs and butt, right?
Yeah.
And thinking that I was going to run my way there was absolutely delusional. So obviously, getting myself into a gym and following a proper program that has been built, and being, again, consistent with it. Massive.
No, that's awesome. I think you touched on the last bit there. It's having a program, because if you're going in blind with anything. Well, we can. I was going to have that as my last point, but I'll talk about it now. Is if you don't have a program in the gym, how are you going to get a goal? You get to your goal of whatever it is of your body. If you don't have a nutrition plan, how are you going to be able to eat the right foods? If you don't have a mental health plan in place, when things go sour, how are you going to be able to handle the stresses of every single day? So programs, not just for the gym, for life, are super important for you to get along in day to day. So you've got to have something to fall back on to say, here's a list of instructions that I need to do to be able to get this thing done. And again, that's a gym program, your nutrition plan, or a mental health plan. I think that's super important as well.
Yep. I love it.
Yep.
I love it. Are we going to keep going with this? Or?
Yeah, we'll just do one more each, I think.
Yeah. Probably that I definitely don't need to train 6 days a week. I used to do this too. Once again, going back to high intensity and the rest of it, but training 6 days a week for my goals, that was absolutely not needed. It wasn't necessary for just wanting to get stronger, to burn some calories, and to feel better within myself. 3 to 4 days is perfect for me. So, obviously not thinking that spending longer in the gym is more effective can actually work in the reverse way. So,
that's a good point. If you're time poor as well, especially you're a mum of 3, a career woman, a wife, like you're very time poor. So getting 4 super effective workouts in versus 7 shithouse ones is way more effective, and you have time to do other things. So that's absolutely crucial, mate. It really, really is. The last thing for me, I mean, I've probably got about 10 more, but the last thing for me is the most important part is rest. Rest is super important, and it's in overall health. It's not just to do with the gym, right? We're talking about overall health. I learned a valuable lesson a couple of weeks ago when I had COVID about how crap my sleep has really, really been. And when I started getting decent 7-8 hour stints, my body never felt the same. And it's comes down to being super important of how much rest you actually get. So that would be the next thing I'd absolutely hype about. as the last thing that I'd really tell my younger self to get cracking on.
Yeah. Its rest is really overlooked, isn't it?
It's overlooked and underrated
Yeah.
in terms of like recovery for obviously muscle growth, but also your mental health. Like
Yep.
to get that time just to chill and zone out, it's super important in that sort of aspect. So yeah, I think I mean, like I said, I've got probably another 10 items, but hydration and form and um, don't think you have to have organic food versus normal food. Like
This could just be an
yeah,
open-ended question that we could just go on for
yeah,
with
I think
hours.
it all comes down to find a professional that's able to guide you in the right direction on those parts of health to get you to
Yeah.
do the right things. That's more important than just going in gung ho and not knowing what you're doing, because you can end up at the end of the day fucking yourself up and ruining your chances of having it. If you don't have a program in the gym, or you don't get shown proper form in the gym, there's no fucking way you're going to be able to lift right. If you don't get told how many calories, how much protein you need to have per day, how to track your food, you ain't going to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
You don't get taught how to deal with stress and adversity in life. How are you going to be able to live? It's like
Yep.
you need to find someone to help you out.
Yep.
I think
Beautiful.
that's more important. Yeah. All right. Next question is there any way we can put, what was it? Sorry. Is there any way we can put together some do's and don'ts to help build my confidence in the gym? Well, that's pretty cool.
This is
Segues off.
another question that we could go
Yeah.
on with, right?
Segues off with what we're talking about now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do a like 2 or 3 do's or don'ts each.
Do's or don'ts to help
Yeah.
build confidence in the gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to go
So,
first?
one for me would be obviously dress comfortably.
and,
Really dress.
and appropriately.
Yeah, don't dress inappropriately. No, and
Men
what I
don't wear
mean,
front on tights, all right?
yeah, no, what I mean by this is, you
Yeah.
know, a lot of us women, we get really self-conscious about possibly our rolls at the top of our tights or our bat wings or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't go to the gym feeling like there's a certain way that you need to dress for your own comfortability. If
Yeah.
you've got, it could even be like, if you're doing squats and you've got see-through tights that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can see
Valid point.
absolutely everything. Yeah. Invest in a good pair of tights.
Yeah.
Wear a t-shirt, wear some loose fitting clothes that you just feel more comfortable with and more confident in walking into an environment like the gym, because it can be super overwhelming. So just
Yeah.
knowing how to just make yourself feel that little bit better by knowing what clothes, just
That can definitely hinder your confidence levels in the gym too. If you're not feeling good in what you're wearing, the likelihood of you going back to the gym is going to be zero. And let's
yeah,
face it, most of us that's starting in the gym are probably a bit overweight and very self-conscious of our body as well. And if we're not wearing something that's making us feel comfortable, we're going to feel like everyone's staring at us. And we just never want to going to go back. And,
yeah,
there's a reason why oversized tees and stuff are invented. They're really cool. And I like training in oversized tees and stuff as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's a very, very absolutely valid point. Like, do dress appropriately for your training style and how you're going to feel, because it's going to make a big difference.
yeah,
We'll go back to what we said before. Do start with a plan is my first one. Not just knowing what you're going to do, but like be able to know what you're going to do beforehand. Right? I for one, I love to sit in the car for 5 minutes. Have a drink or whatever, and say, look at what my program it goes. Right, you're doing legs today. Here's the structure, and I can go in the gym and look over and go, look, there's 900 people on the squat rack as usual. I can't do squats straight away, so I'm going to have
yeah,
to go do kickbacks and whatever else first.
yeah,
So having a plan will give you more consistency to be able to train to your goal level. Most of us, if again we're talking about weight loss and fat loss, we're training to build a bigger engine. So therefore we're going to have hopefully a simple plan, maybe a full body 4-day per week, but it's going to be giving us the ability to have time efficient workouts. So for me, it would be get a coach or someone who can give you a program. Don't just rely on Dr. Google, because sometimes those programs are pretty shit. Someone that knows what they're talking about to be able to give you a plan, say, hey, if you want to lose weight, I'd advise you on doing this type of program to build some, small amounts of muscle, increase your muscle mass, so you can start eating more food and not put on weight. So
Yeah.
So do you want to do and a don't, a do and a don't, something like that?
Yep. Okay. My next one would probably be, okay, even though, look, classes I think definitely serve a purpose, but if you've never walked into a gym before, I think doing class-based exercise is a good little icebreaker.
Yeah.
Rather than getting yourself into, like, imagine walking to the gym the first time and going to the squat rack. Like, that is really super daunting. So I think, check out the timetable, the schedule, and just pick out a class that, that I guess interests you.
Yeah.
Whether it's a weightlifting class, maybe it is more of a cardio class,
And
whatever.
it might have people at your level as well and make you feel more comfortable.
Yep. And that's right. And you can usually work at your own kind of pace and strength or whatever. But obviously, just going in and getting into a class where it's structured by a PT or whatever that can kind of guide you, then I think that's, a bit of an icebreaker.
Yeah, and a confidence booster too.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. And so on the back end of that, my advice would be, don't just walk into a gym and go and hop around on any machines that you feel like you want to do, because most of the time those exercises that you are avoiding are the ones that you probably need the most, or that you're completely avoiding working that particular muscle, if that kind of makes sense.
That makes total sense, because you're avoiding it because you don't know how to do it, but you also your confidence level is really, really low. So you're just trying to get in there to do something. So find a friend too, like grab a friend if you know someone that's been to the gym before, and join them and see how it feels. And also on backing off that is find a gym that actually makes you feel comfortable. Like don't walk into a massive Planet Fitness or something like that it doesn't make you feel comfortable. It makes you intimidated. If you find a gym that's owned by some really cool people, that it's like a family operated business that has that environment where you feel comfortable in, like, that is more important than anything. That'll give you the opportunity and make you want to go back.
I would agree with that, Mike, because that was going to be my next point, is go and do a walk-in visit and talk to the staff and check out the environment during peak hour. I know for myself and a lot of women, if you're first going into a gym and you're all of a sudden walking into an environment where there's big, heavy, grunting men and there's weights, being slammed on the ground, are you really going to keep going back to that environment if it doesn't feel comfortable? So, just go and visit the gym, check out the equipment, go and chat with the staff and see, just what they can provide you with.
Yeah, definitely. I would say don't ignore gym etiquette would be the next part for me. Please re-rack your weights. There is nothing worse than seeing somebody that's left 200 kilos on the leg press machine, and a poor young girl's got to come across and take 200 kilos worth of 20.
Or a poor young guy.
Yeah, well, true. Definitely a poor young person or a poor person that's struggling. It happened to my wife the other day. There was like a ton of weight left on the leg press machine, and it's like, it's ridiculous. Like, fuck, man, if you've got the strength to be able to put them on, you've got the strength to be able to take them off. Especially if you're doing leg press, you're not using your fucking legs to take the weights off. So the likelihood of you being taxed after doing leg press with your arms is absolutely wrong.
I love that. You're not using your legs to
if you're doing leg press with your arms, you're doing something fucking wrong. So please don't ignore gym etiquette. Bring a towel. Bring some fucking deodorant, please. Most gyms provide deodorant, so please use it. There's plenty of people out there that, I mean, I sweat a lot myself, and I make sure I'm smelling half decent at least. But bring a towel. Dudes, don't piss on the floor in the toilets. Okay, that's another pet hate of mine. Absolutely, especially when they're unisex toilets. Fucking just annoys the shit out of me. Don't stare at people, please. It's hard enough getting people to go to the gym, but then when you're one of those intimidating people that just stares at people, look, I understand that you're on roids and you're looking good and your muscles are pumping, but please, like, don't intimidate other people. Like, it's supposed to be a really good environment. Don't film people fucking in the gym if you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
need to. Like, it's a fucking other pet hate of mine. Yes, I have to do social media stuff, and I like to post videos of myself in the gym, but I do make sure it's strategic and that there's no
Yeah.
people in the background, and that I ask questions first. So don't just assume everyone's okay to be filmed in the gym.
Yeah.
I think that's super important. Do fucking bring a drink bottle as well. Don't just drink out of the tap in front of everyone. So many pet hates of mine. Don't use your fucking pre-workout on the floor and leave a dust trail across there looking like you've just
Oh,
had a
you
fight
could go
with
on with this one.
the Colombian mafia and you've left your cocaine trail behind. Like, there's so, like, fuck, man. There's so many
Your
things
gym
that
sounds
really
really
annoys the shit out of
intense.
me. Yeah, that's not just my gym. It's every gym. It's
Yeah,
every
yeah,
gym. If you
yeah.
bring your kids, like, make sure you go and check on them in the creche, please, and don't rely on everybody else when they're trying to say, "Daddy, Daddy, I need to pee myself." Like, you have a responsibility. Don't, like, I understand, but it's a gym is supposed to be a place where you go and train. For me, it's a mental health release. I want to be in the zone. I don't want to be disturbed. If I've got my headphones on, leave me the fuck alone. Like, I don't want
Yes.
you asking questions. I don't mind. I don't want to have a chat. I
Yeah,
like to say something different because every time I go with her, for some reason, I always see someone I know, and all of a sudden, the
yeah.
conversation starts.
And it
But
completely just breaking that concentration.
yeah,
It's just, I don't know, it's like your gym session just doesn't flow as much as,
yeah.
yeah, I'm the same. Like, it's
Kirsty's just
what
said
makes,
sitting on a machine on your phone for ages. That is another one, Kirsty. I
yes.
cannot stand. I
Yeah,
understand if you're plugging in your weights and your reps, because I
yeah,
do it. Chuck
yeah,
the phone down,
yeah,
get in the zone. Like,
yeah.
fucking don't sit there on YouTube watching a video of goats laughing and falling over off a hill or some shit, right? I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. So yeah, gym etiquette is oh man, it's one of the most important do's and don'ts in my eyes. Learn the
And
rules.
wipe your sweat off the machines. Like
Yes.
at our gym, we've got the wet wipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, use them. Like you see so many people just there's sweat flying around after they've
Yeah.
been on the cross trainer
Yeah.
or they've just done their bench press or
Mm.
whatever it is, and you just see the massive back sweat. Like,
Yeah.
get it
Yeah.
off.
That's why you should be putting a towel down, like so many other things. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous.
This is another great question.
Yeah. 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 So, like, I think there would be tons of others. Like, do bring a good playlist. Like, make sure you've got something in your ears that you absolutely like to pump you up and listen to. Do ask for help would be another one too. If you're not sure, like, there's PTs there all the time, or seasoned veterans that'll be more than happy to say,
Yes.
"Hey, you're doing this wrong. How about I help you out?" And,
Yeah.
like, don't be an arsehole if somebody is trying to help you as well. That's another thing. Like, you can be respectful and say, "Hey, like, I appreciate you trying to help me, but I'm not interested."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's so many do's and don'ts.
Be that person that if you, yeah, exactly what you said. If you see someone struggling and like whether it's like, an older lady trying to get the weights off again or somebody that just can't quite get the machine set up, or you can see them, trying to read, how the hell do I work it? Go and
Yeah,
help someone. And a
yeah,
simple smile in a gym goes a
yeah.
really, really long way.
That was my last one was,
Really, yeah.
dude, say hello. Just
Yeah.
smile and say hello. Like,
Yeah.
it's all right if you're in the zone and all that stuff, but there's nothing wrong with just smiling and saying hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agree.
etiquette is super important. And don't wear fucking Crocs, please.
Yes, I would agree with that
Oh,
1000%.
I'm gonna get a backlash from Clint, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, they're not suitable attire. If you drop a weight on your foot, you're gonna just crush your toe, and
Yeah.
it's disgusting. I hate Crocs at the best of days. So
I
yeah,
don't like Crocs either. Excuse me,
I'm,
don't get her up.
I'm gonna stop those because we could just keep
Go
going
with her.
and going and
I know
going.
it's one of those questions.
Yeah. I really like this next question because I think this is important as a coach.
Mhm.
How can you tell a client is worth investing in? Some coaches reject clients I've seen. Now, reason why this is important, and it's not because we've got a bunch of clients watching, is for everybody else out there that's looking at investing in a coach or investing in their health and wellness, which is what you're doing, right? Yes, you're spending money, hard earned money on good food, training, mindset, coaching, stuff like that. But it's an investment in yourself, right? So finding a good coach is just as important as a coach having a good client. Now, how can you tell a client is worth investing in? For me, um, it's their level of communication from the start.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the way they respond to instructions, it's the way they respond to questions, and it's the questions they actually have. To me, show us somebody that's actually really invested in themselves.
Hmm.
I'll give you an example, and not just because she's watching. Kirsty, who joined us not long ago, um, has asked a bunch of questions, but also when given the instructions, followed them super well, and is getting results out of the program, even though she's been sick and had an injury, because she's following the program really, really well. And to me, that's because her communication skills are super awesome.
Yep.
And that's the type of person I like to work with, someone that's respondent and someone that's vocal and puts their hand up, because you're paying money to have people coach you. So be vocal, be a pain in the ask the questions. I think
Yep.
that is one of the most important things.
Yep.
What do you think,
I
Alice?
love that. Okay, so I'm going to kind of throw things the other end. And one question that, look, I totally get it when you're making an investment, but someone that comes to you immediately and goes, how much is your program? Like, or says, that's really expensive. Expensive compared to what exactly?
Yeah.
The
To
50
you.
bucks that you just blew on a carton of beer, the 50
Yeah.
bucks that you just put through the pokies or across the tab, like what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Instantly when I get that question from it's a great question, of course, but you don't go to someone and just say, how much is it? If you're not actually physically and energetically invested in actually transforming your life. You
Yeah.
know
And
that.
yeah, the financial part is important, especially in this day and age. But yeah, trying to look at it as in, like you said, I had a client the other day. It was like, yeah, all I have to do is not drink wine for the rest of the week
Mm.
and not go
Yeah,
out with the girls, and then I can afford. That's like, well, that's why you're here. You're here to
yeah,
improve yourself. You said to me, hey, yeah, I don't like being in a position where I'm going out every weekend and smashing myself. I want to go back to being fit and healthy. Well, the offset versus, you can drop 500-600 bucks a night on drinks. I mean, I
yeah,
haven't drank for a long time, and I wouldn't like to know how much a beer and that costs these days.
yeah.
But
And
like,
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah,
When
you can
people
quite easily
blow
do it.
all the money on, they want to invest in themselves, but they're blowing all the money on actually doing the absolute reverse, whether
Yeah,
it's, a massive bender or whatever people do. And it's not actually, it's actually not benefiting them. But then
yeah,
they ask that question and it's like,
yeah. You can't have one or the other in my
yeah,
eyes. Um, you can't have this overall intent of investing in yourself to be the best you can be, and then go and blowing it all on the weekends. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
you can't
yeah,
do it. For me, it's their positive attitude is probably the next best thing for me. It will not only influence themselves, but the people they surround themselves in. Now, we create probably one of the best environments in our academy. The
you do.
camaraderie between the men and women is just second to none.
Yeah,
And the minute you have a negative, toxic person in there, it can really bring down the whole vibe. So for
mhm,
me, is the attitude the person brings along. Positivity in life is super important for me and everybody in my life, and I
yeah,
like to surround myself with it. And I've had to get rid of some people in my life that have been toxic human beings, that I cannot have that. So if their vibe is not right, the tribe will not let them in.
yeah. I
There's
love
a
that.
wonderful way of getting rid of the garbage by having a really bad attitude. So for me, um, I've quickly gotten rid of plenty of people that have not got the right vibe after the first 4 weeks, because I don't want to invest my hard earned energy into somebody that is trying to bring everything else down. I want somebody that can reciprocate that energy. So to
Yeah.
me, the positive attitude is super important.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Barnes, can you just take babes for a sec?
She's
Um,
awake.
I know she's awake. Yeah, I would agree with that. Especially our community is a really big asset to BBA. I think it's one of those things. A lot of women feel. Can you just take her for a moment, please, sweetheart? Feel rather intimidated by other people's success.
Yeah.
Rather than inspired. And I know sometimes that can take time to, obviously adopt that mindset, but just being a supportive person in overall life.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and being encouraging. Like there's so many women and men. Can you just take her, please? That when they very first come in and they're like, this is like completely surreal. Like I've never had this support in my life. Like it's unheard of. And because we're so used to women especially tearing each other down in the outside world. And when you don't get that inside our community, you question it and you go, wow, there really is some decent women in this world. That support one another.
Definitely.
So obviously, being able to find another woman inspirational rather than, it's a big thing for me.
Definitely, 100%. And then, like, I think this is not just what makes a good client and what makes a good human being.
Yeah, exactly right.
Like, if you've got any of these traits that we've talked about, like, you're just going to be a better person. You're going to have better people that want to be around you. And I think that's really, really important. Like, having good expectations, having really good commitment, they make up a really good client. Having a good sense of humor, being able to laugh and enjoy life, because let's face it, it's fucking tough out there. So, so many other good things that we could talk about. But for me, the most important thing is, the positive attitude, openness to learn, having commitment skills, being driven and determined to invest in themselves, and being selfish as well, like giving themselves that time that they need to become a better person. So
agree.
Cool. Carls, I think that's all the questions we got right now, mate. Well, for today,
beautiful.
which is really, really cool. And I appreciate you jumping on. I know it's a bad time of the morning for you. So yeah, it's
I'm
all
out,
good.
guys.
It's all good, mate. You go and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining
Thanks,
us.
Mike.
All right, mate. See ya.